Hi there, welcome to this week's Weekend Warrior video. I'm Mike Watchmaker, National Handicapper for Daily Racing Forum. The three stakes races I'm going to talk about for this week include two from Arlington Park, the featured Arlington Million and the Secretariat Stakes, also a Grade 1 event. And I'm going to talk about one of the three stakes races at Saratoga, that being the Lure Stakes. But let's begin with the Arlington Million and a male turf division here in the U.S. that is still seeking a leader. And I want new faces in this race, and I really believe that Almanar and Oscar Performance, while familiar racehorses, are new faces because they've only run once each this year. So that kind of puts them in the new face category. And Oscar Performance was very good winning the Poker Stakes in his 4-year-old debut, his first race since the Breeders' Cup. He now stretches out to 1.25 miles. It should be noted that he won the Secretariat Stakes last year going this distance over the Arlington Turf Course, whereas Almanar won an allowance the day before the Belmont Stakes at Belmont Park. And while on paper it looks like he might have struggled, he only won that race by a neck. The fact of the matter is that he was well in hand winning that race. He was a very, very clever winner of that race. I really believe that these are the two right horses in the Arlington Million. I'm going with Almanar because he's going to be the bigger price. I do believe Almanar has every license to improve off a second start back off a lengthy layoff. I also think that he's got more than enough class to win this race. Last year, before he went on the shelf, when he won the Grade 1 Gulfstream Park Turf Handicap, he beat Beach Patrol when Beach Patrol was very, very good. So it's Almanar for me in the Arlington Million. Let's move on to the Secretariat, and there isn't any doubt that Analyze It and Huntinghorn, the second and third place finishers, and the Belmont Derby are going to be tough to beat in this race. But I'm intrigued with Platinum Warrior. He's going to be a bit of a price, and I think he's an interesting horse to take a flyer with in this spot, and that's just what I'm doing. Platinum Warrior showed significant improvement from start to start early in this three-year-old season, culminating with a win 2 starts back in the Gallinule Stakes. It was a decisive victory, and in it he walloped Latrobe, who came back to win the Group 1 Irish Derby. Platinum Warrior also ran on the Irish Derby. He was considerably farther off the early pace, according to reports. He was considerably farther off the early pace than he was in the Gallinule, and the pace in the Irish Derby was slow even by European standards, so he didn't get the right trip. He now cuts back to the distance, the 1.25 mile distance at which he won the Gallinule. He also was in a situation where he could be prominent early, like he was in the Gallinule, because the only two real speed horses in this race are Real Story and Analyze It. Platinum Warrior breaks from post 2 just outside of Real Story. I think he's going to sit a very nice forwardly placed inside pocket trip. I think we might be able to get double-digit odds on him. It's Platinum Warrior for me in the Secretariat. Let's wrap this up with the Lure Stakes from Saratoga. The Lure, you might remember, was originally scheduled to be run last Saturday at Saratoga, but heavy rains would have washed it off the turf. They postponed it, redrew it, rescheduled it, and it's a significantly easier spot this week. While it did pick up projected, they did lose Ticonderoga, Ballarox, and Voodoo Song, who's also running at Saratoga on Saturday, but in the featured Grade 1 4-star day. I do think it's an easier race now, and I think it's a race that Zetter can win, even though he's coming off a layoff of a little bit more than a year. Zetter, in fact, hasn't appeared since he won this race last year. But Zetter is a horse that's run well off layoffs in the past. He's trained by Kieran McLaughlin, who's a very adept at getting horses to fire big off the bench. And I do think it's very interesting that Zetter, being a Godolphin McLaughlin production, he's stabled at Green Tree up at Saratoga, where they have their own private training track. And yet, a couple of days ago, they actually walked this horse over to the Oklahoma training track to work on the turf, and he turned in a second best of 98 workout there. I thought that workout just reeks of intent. I think Zetter's ready to fire big off the layoff in this Weekend Lure Stakes, and that's the one I'm going for. You can read the full write-up of the Weekend Warrior in print editions and also on DRF.com. Thanks for watching, and good luck.